What's going on, everybody? This is Snowman. Welcome to your monthly update video for June. It's hot. It's summer already. We're in the middle of it. It's crazy. I got a fan going, hoping that won't be too distracting. But welcome to your update for June. Thank you for being a continued supporter. You guys rock. Seriously, the bedrock of the channel. I can't thank you enough. It's amazing. And it's wonderful to be back with you. As I mentioned last month, it's kind of been a crazy month for my life. My wife and I now have officially bought a house. We're in the process of moving out. You may not be able to, ooh, music. Going up a little bit, turn that down. You probably can't see it too much from here, but we're in the process of packing. The house is a total disaster, but we're moving at the end of the month, and surprisingly, I played a lot of games. I didn't think that I would play a lot of games this month, but I have played a lot, so I want to talk about them. Several smaller indie games that I want to talk about, ones that I kind of just on my to-play list that I needed to get through, and then at the end I want to talk about Paper Mario. I played through Paper Mario again. That may be a future video soon. In fact, I'm almost positive it will be, but like I was saying, summer is crazy for me. I'm at summer camps for like the whole next month and mission trips and stuff, so it may be a while, but hopefully I can try to at least start working on the script in the next few weeks and stuff like that. So anyway, let's start with Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon. So Bloodstained, is, for those that don't know, is a game that's on Kickstarter by the guy that made Symphony of the Night. It's supposed to be like a big resurgence for Metroidvanias by one of the greatest ones that's been made, that same person. Bloodstained is coming out soon, but in the meantime they released like a spin-off game under the same title but a different subheader. So it's Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon versus, I honestly don't remember what the new one is. I didn't back it. I'm not really following it. But I played Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon because it's cheap. It's like $10, and it's a Castlevania 3 style spiritual successor type game. I haven't played Castlevania 3. I've played Castlevania 1, but I know that Castlevania 3 has multiple characters and different abilities with those characters, and that's exactly what Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon is like. I don't know if in Castlevania 3 you can switch on a whim of what character you're playing as, because in this one, that is exactly what you can do. You can change characters by a bumper press, and it's really cool. So it's got the Castlevania staples. Very difficult game, very challenging, and death sends you back a ways, and you gotta go back through it. But what's cool is the different characters with the different abilities adds a lot to it. So not only can you change characters if you're low on health to survive longer, so it's like, oh, okay, I'll switch to this character so I can stay alive, but also their special abilities unlock shortcuts. So like, one character can do a slide dash, so it can go under low-hanging walls that other characters can't. Other ones can turn into bats and fly up to ledges that other characters can't reach. Some characters have like an invincibility shield for a short time that they can go through a wall of death that other characters can't. So there's multiple pathways that are unlocked based on what characters you have available. Because if a character dies, they're no longer playable until all 4 of your characters die, and then you have to start that level over with 1 less life. So losing a life is actually all 4 of your characters dying. Otherwise, you don't lose a life, and you start back over with a new character. But it whittles down until you only have 1 character left, and then once that one dies, you lose a life. Kind of a really cool system, actually. I really like it. And you start to get better at changing, like, if a character's better for certain situations, you switch to that character, and then you, like, in the boss fights especially, it's like, oh, I'm better with this character, so I'm gonna save them for later, make sure they don't die. Like, there's kind of some cool, like, meta strategy behind it, which is great. It was a ton of fun, very challenging. I beat it, and it was very satisfying. Just good design, great bosses. It's a little bit on the shorter side, but actually there's quite a bit of game there. I think there's 8 levels, something like that. I really enjoyed it. Very, very worth the $10, especially if you're into that style. I don't know if I can say I'm necessarily into that exact style, but I definitely really enjoyed it. I did really like Castlevania 1, and there are a lot of nods to that series as well. Woo, there's the music. Yeah, I guess that one track was just a lot quieter. I was like, what's going on? Okay. So that one's great. Definitely go play Bloodstained. That one's awesome. There's a bunch of like other ones that I played that weren't necessarily my favorite. Unworthy is one. Some people recommended Unworthy. It's like a 2D Dark Souls game, so, you know, Dark Souls 2... There's been a few of those in the last few years, like Salt and Sanctuary is probably the most prominent one. Just this, like, 2D Dark Souls resurgence. Resurgence isn't the right word. People trying to change the formula to be 2D instead of, like, you know, a 3D Dark Souls. Unworthy is kind of the latest to try that. It's a pixel art, black and white game. So it's kind of unique, but it wasn't anything to write home about. I beat the first boss and got to like the second world, and it's just kind of basic, I guess. I don't know exactly how to explain it. There's just not a lot going on with it. It's kind of bare bones. The boss, and it was only the first boss, so, you know, to be fair, but it kind of just, it didn't have a lot going on. I probably need to get further into it to give a full review, you know, but from what I played so far, it was kind of just okay. I didn't like that to get back to the first boss, you had to go down an elevator that went really, really slow, and then walk past a few enemies, and then ride another elevator that went up really, really slow just to fight it again. Whatever. Little personal thing, but for me, Dark Souls-esque games work best in 3D style. But some of them are good. It's just it needs a little bit more to it than what Unworthy had to offer. Yoku's Island Express is another one. I played Yoku's Island Express at PAX last year. That is a very unique game. It's sort of a adventure game that is pinball. So it's like a pinball adventure game. So like you play as this, I guess you're a caterpillar? I don't really know. Who's delivering mail. That's your job. And you push this little thing around, and it's like a big pinball, and you collect fruit to progress. And so it's kind of just a really unique idea. I really liked it at PAX. I played it a little bit. Again, it's one of those where it's not necessarily my style of game, but I can really appreciate it for what it is. The pinball stuff, again, just I'm not a huge pinball guy, so like, you know, I didn't necessarily enjoy it incredibly, but it was good. It was good for what it was. Really good game, really good graphical style, a lot of charm. Looks really cool, and I hope that if I play it more, you know, it expands kind of on what's going on. Right now, it seems like a lot of, hey, here's your next goal, go to this place on the map. Along the way, there's 3 things that are going to stop you and make you do a little side thingy. But it was a neat idea. I liked that it was a combination of genres, so it's like pinball's a major part of it, but it's also an adventure game. You gain abilities that help you progress, so Metroidvania stuff. You know, there's just a bunch of little things dabbled in there that's really cool. So, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Now we're going to turn the music back up, I guess. Weird. My music's just all over the scope today. Kuso. I played Kuso. That is the follow-up to the game Love by, oh, I'm totally going to butcher the name, Fred Woods? Fred Woods? I really hope that that's who it is. Makes really good games. I loved Love, and then Kuso came out the next year. Very similar style. If you've never even heard of those before, Kuso and Love are simplistic 2D platformers where the gimmick is you can make your own checkpoints. So from anywhere you're standing at all, you can make a checkpoint, and you have unlimited refills of that. So you jump one ledge, you can make a checkpoint. That's totally fine. But if you don't make checkpoints, you go back further. So you're kind of in charge of your own save system, which is cool. I like games that do that. What's cool about Kuso, and Love did the same thing, there's different modes. So there's like unlimited mode, unlimited lives, and they recommend that the first time you're playing to get the feel of the game. And then there's arcade mode, which had 125 lives, and I made the mistake of doing that first. I definitely do unlimited first, and then it took me 3 tries actually to do arcade mode, because it's hard. I mean, it's not like unbelievably hard, but it's also very short. It's a very short game. You can beat it in probably 20-30 minutes. But hard mode was, the arcade mode was fun. There's also a hard mode I didn't try that has 10 lives. So it's like beat the game in 10 lives. Good luck. And then I did a speedrun mode. It has the speedrun mode in it, which has unlimited lives, but you're just trying to get through as fast as possible. So I tried a speedrun. I beat it in like 18 minutes. Not great. I went and looked at the leaderboard. All of the times on the leaderboard were faster than my time. So I submitted it, and I'm literally on the bottom of the Kuso leaderboards. If you want to go check it out on speedrun.com. Anyway, but it was fun. I really like how it has a lot of detail for such a simplistic game. I believe it only has 3 colors, black, white, and a single color. But each screen is a different color, so some of them will be orange, some are green, some are blue. And white things normally are things that kill you. It's also musically driven. I didn't talk about that. So every stage, they're very short levels. You'll beat probably each level in like a minute or less. But each level has its own song, and all of the things in the level correspond to the music. So every single stage is musically driven. It's based around timing of the music, which is great. I love musically driven games anyway, so that's really cool. Loved that. Kuso's great. Another one that's unbelievably cheap. I think it's like $5 or less. Steam sale is, well, by the time I release this, I guess it will probably be the end of the Steam sale. I'm recording this a little bit early, but anyway, go check out Kuso. Seriously, that one and Love both I think are phenomenal games that more people should know about and play. Hot Lava is another one I had the pleasure of playing. Hot Lava, a friend bought it. It's in beta right now, but you get a free code for a friend if you buy it, so he gave me his free code, and that one's really great too. I didn't realize it's Clay Entertainment, so Clay Entertainment's the guys that do Don't Starve. They've done a bunch of games. They might just be publishing it. I didn't look too deep into it, but Hot Lava is really fun. Basically, the premise is when you're a kid and the ground is lava and you can't touch the ground, so you're hopping on stuff in the house. So like you're bouncing from couches to tables to dressers, and it's in a school too. So it's like you're jumping on lockers and desks in the classroom. It's a really cool idea, and the ground is literally lava. Like it's like your imagination, and everything's lava, so you can't jump in the lava. But the momentum and very fluid movement is great. So you can like jump and grab like rails above you to swing from, so you can like swing and jump on platforms. There's trampolines that bounce you higher, collectibles throughout the stages. It just has a lot going for it. Very cool. I'm excited to see that develop into its final product. It's all online. So as you're jumping through levels, there's other people online flying around too. There's like leaderboards for time, so like you can compete against your friends. It's just got a lot going for it. It's really cool. It was a lot better than I expected. That was another one that I saw at PAX. I didn't get a chance to play it, but I saw Hot Lava, and I just thought, oh, that's a funny idea. Like, you know, the floor is lava. But it's kind of a cool, fully realized idea. I think it's taking like, oh, the childhood thing, but then like making a cool, fully fledged game out of it. Again, I only played very briefly. I played like 45 minutes, maybe an hour of it. I need to play more of it. But I'm excited to see where that one goes from there. Let's talk briefly about Paper Mario, because I think I might have mentioned in the last month that I was going to play through those again. I played through Paper Mario 64, and then I was just still on such a kick. I played through Thousand Year Door as well. And I'll save Thousand Year Door for next time, just because I don't want to talk forever. But first, let's talk about 64. And again, I don't want to give too much. If I end up doing a video here, I'll try to, you know, not dive too far into things. But essentially, Paper Mario 64, first of all, was my #1 N64 game of all time. This was a long time ago now, I did my top 10 N64 games. This was like 3.5 years ago. Paper Mario was #1. Banjo-Kazooie was #2, but Paper Mario stole my heart. Definitely my favorite game, I think, as a child. I have a ton of nostalgia for that game. That being said, playing it again, it's still like a near perfect game, and that might be the nostalgia talking, but playing it again, it's like this is unbelievable. It's so good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put on some Paper Mario music. This is gonna be weird. I've never done this while I've recorded these things, but if I go and actually put on Paper Mario music, okay, this is awkward. Now I can't get to it. Paper Mario. There we go. Toad Town. There we go. Like just the music, right? The music just brings you back, like that nostalgia, though. You know what I'm saying? So we'll play a little Paper Mario music while I talk about it. It has so much going for it, and what's interesting now is I kind of want to go and play through Super Paper Mario, because I know that's where things started to change. They changed things up a lot. I never played Sticker Star. I've never played Color Splash. I would be interested to play Color Splash. I really have no desire to try Sticker Star, because I mean I've heard it's just so awful, and Color Splash I know is not great either. But I'd be interested to try it, and then definitely Super, because I've never beaten Super. I only got through, like, I don't know, the first few chapters a long time ago. So I'd be interested to play it and see what changed exactly, like now looking at it from an analytical perspective, because Thousand Year Door is a phenomenal sequel. It's probably like almost a perfect example of what a sequel should be, where it takes what was great about the first game and just expands it and adds cool new stuff, expands on what was already built, keeps the stuff that made it great, aka the charm, the party system, the combat, and just builds and just does it better. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Thousand Year Door. The only thing that I didn't like as much about Thousand Year Door, there's a lot more backtracking, and I mentioned this on Twitter. There's a lot more backtracking. And again, maybe it's the nostalgia blindness. I didn't feel like there was that in 64. In 64, everything's pretty concise. Everything's pretty fluid. You go through the level, and then boom, you're done. And, I mean, at least not in the way that Thousand Year Door does it. There is blatant running back and forth through the linear levels, back and forth over and over and over. But anyway, 64, I think what I love most about it is seriously, like, just all this music takes me back. It's super charming. Just the paper aesthetic, the cuteness of it, the way it's a basic Mario adventure, but because it's paper and the way they just do it and the combat's totally different. It's unlike any other Mario game, except for, I guess, like Mario RPG. But Super Mario RPG is very, like, realistic, right? It looks very, you know, Square, like Square Enix made it, and yeah, play this one. Jeez. Talk about good battle music, too, right? So, like, to have real, like, battle music needs to be good, because you're going to hear this a million times, right? And this is such good battle music. Like, this, Pokemon, and Final Fantasy are like the only ones that it's like, good battle music. The ones that it's just like you can hear 10 million times and it'll never get old. Anyway, okay, what was I saying? So it's just super charming. It's unbelievable how charming it is. I love that it takes like basic Mario elements. Like, there's nothing outlandish about Paper Mario 64. It's bombs, Koopas, Goombas, right? Like, it's your basic Mario stuff. You're literally just going and fighting Bowser. It's a very basic Mario story. But it opened up this whole new world in terms of charm and, like, exploring a different aspect of Mario that we've never seen before, where they all have personalities. These Koopas and the people you talk to, they're all individual people. They have names. They have personalities. Like, just everything about it. Toad Town is a phenomenal hub world. It's probably up there as one of the best hub worlds ever. Combat is great. Something I personally loved about it compared to, say, Mario RPG is... That was weird, it just cut off. I like this one anyway. Okay, so like in Mario RPG, everything's really high numbers. I mean, this is the Final Fantasy effect, right? Where you attack someone and it does 1,500 damage. And it's like, okay, I don't know what that means. In Paper Mario, everything's simple. You literally start by doing 1 damage. And then it builds up from there, and you're never doing more than like 10 or 15 damage. At max, you're doing 15, right? So everything's like very simplified. It's just less like convoluted. Everything's very streamlined. The dungeons and puzzles are pretty easy. But, like, I don't mind that. In fact, I almost prefer that. Like, and I might be in a minority on that. I know people love, like, Zelda puzzles, and, ooh, it really made me think, and it was complex. I like that Paper Mario's puzzles are very simple, and it's clear what your path is. And even if it looks like, oh, there might be 4 ways to go, there's one clear way that you're supposed to go first, and then you go from there. Like, I like that about Paper Mario a lot. And... sure, like, part of it might be that, like, I know what to do now, so, like, I know that game like the back of my hand, so going through it is pretty easy, and I know what to do. Like, maybe it would be annoying or confusing for a brand new player that's never played it before if they didn't know some things, like, for example, knowing where to get the seeds to open up Chapter 6, or, you know, finding some of the chapters, like Shy Guy's Toy Box, or things like that. But... for me, I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love that game. Probably the coolest thing for me is the bonus content. So there's so much extra stuff you can do in Paper Mario. In Toad Town alone, there's like 10 total side quest mini stuff you can do, which is amazing. I love the dojo, fighting the master and his peons. I love the like nerd Koopa that blocks your path after like halfway through the game. That's like a really hard battle. I love that underneath the sewers of the town, you slowly can unlock the more you progress, and it becomes its own level in itself over the course of the game that you unlock slowly. I love the old Koopa that you do like favors for, and he rewards you with a single coin. Like, there's something just so goofy about that, and I love it. Doing favors for him. I love the collecting star pieces. I love doing the quiz mini games. Like, there's so many things to do in that game. Just a ton of stuff. Just has a lot going for it. And like the fact that that's an N64 game and that just holds up unbelievably well compared to anything else today. It's so good. Like, even Thousand Year Door, even though it's graphically better, it looks a lot more cartoony than paper. Like, I know they really utilize the paper aesthetic more in Thousand Year Door, like mechanically, but everything looks very cartoony. The way that they can move their arms and legs independent of each other. In Paper Mario, everyone's a sheet of paper. Like, nobody moves separately. They're literally a sheet of paper. Stuff like that. So, I could talk about that game forever. I love that game so much. Expect a video in the coming months. I did tweet this. I may do like a trilogy. So maybe I do a video on the best parts of Paper Mario 64. Then maybe I do a video on Thousand Year Door and what makes a good sequel. Like, maybe that's a good game design or something. And then maybe if I do end up playing Super and if there's enough in it that I'm like, oh, this would make a good video, maybe I talk about the turning point of Paper Mario. I don't know. But I think it'd be really cool to dive deep into it. I've never done a fully fledged video just on Paper Mario. I've talked about it in other videos, but not one dedicated fully to it. Similar to my Kingdom Hearts video, where it's like, I love this series and these games. Why have I not done like full videos on them? And it kind of was good timing because it's kind of been like a dry spell in terms of major game releases. It feels like since God of War, there hasn't been like a big game that I'm looking forward to. And there probably won't until the fall. I mean, really, I'm looking forward to Smash. I guess like Mario Tennis. I'll probably pick up Mario Tennis, maybe. I don't know. Just, it seems like there's kind of this 6-month period where we're in right now, where the fall and winter and 2019, there's a lot coming, but in the meantime, this might be a good time for me to, well, one, to kind of like take a break and the chaos of my life, but two, you know, we can look at some of these like classic games that I haven't really had a chance to cover yet. So, I don't know, that might be a cool thing to look for in the future, but thank you for supporting me continually. Seriously, I can't thank you all enough. You guys rock. I hope that you've enjoyed your update for June, and I'll see you on the other side in July. Until then, stay frosty, my friends. I'll see you later. Bye-bye!